My wife is mad I didn't sleep on the couch after she told me to. I slept at my brother's place, with all my important documents. She woke up alone. By noon, I'd frozen our joint accounts. By evening, she realized I wasn't coming back. Ever. She screamed so loud the process server took a step back. I know because he told me later. Described the whole scene in detail while we waited for my lawyer to finish a phone call. Said my wife, my soon-to-be ex-wife, turned white as a ghost, then red as a fire hydrant, then started shrieking about fraud and theft and how I'd regret this for the rest of my pathetic life. Her co-workers watched the whole thing. 30 people in that open plan office, pretending to look at their screens while Jessica Okonkwo, senior marketing coordinator, had a complete meltdown in front of the reception desk. The process server said she tried to tear up the papers. He told her that wasn't how it worked. She threw them at his head instead. By 3:47 p.m. on that Thursday afternoon, my wife knew 3 things. I wasn't coming home, our savings account was empty, and the man she'd been cheating on me with for 6 months wasn't going to save her from what came next. I watched the chaos unfold from my brother's couch, phone on silent, drinking coffee that had gone cold an hour ago, 17 missed calls, 32 text messages, 4 voicemails that started angry and ended desperate. I didn't respond to any of them, because here's the thing about Jessica. She'd spent 6 months planning her escape. 6 months lying to my face while texting another man from our bathroom. 6 months pretending to love me while waiting for the right time to drain our accounts and disappear. She just didn't expect me to find out, and she definitely didn't expect me to move first. My name is Daniel Okonkwo, 34 years old, senior software engineer at a tech company downtown. Normal job, normal life, normal everything, until Tuesday night, when my wife's phone buzzed 7 times in a row and I made the mistake of glancing at the screen. Jessica and I met in high school, sophomore year. She sat behind me in chemistry and asked to borrow a pencil. Classic origin story, the kind you tell at wedding receptions while everyone smiles and pretends they believe in forever. We dated through high school, stayed together through college, different schools, 2 hours apart, but we made it work. Got engaged at 23, married at 25, 9 years together by the time everything fell apart. I thought we were happy. Not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But solid. Stable. The kind of relationship that weathers storms. I paid for her college when her parents couldn't. Supported her through 2 career changes when she needed to find herself. Worked overtime for 3 years so she could have the car she wanted, the apartment she wanted, the life she wanted. I thought that's what partners did. Sacrifice. Support. Show up even when it's hard. I was wrong about a lot of things. The red flags started about a year ago. I didn't see them as red flags at the time. That's how it always works, right? You trust someone, so you explain away the things that don't fit. You make excuses. You tell yourself you're imagining problems where none exist. First flag, the gym membership. I'm joining Fit Life, Jessica announced one Saturday morning. I need to get healthier, more energy. You know how tired I've been. I thought it was great. Encouraged her. Even offered to join with her. No, that's okay. I need this to be my thing, my space. Fair enough. Everyone needs their own space. She started going 3 times a week, then 4, then sometimes twice a day on weekends. Said she'd found a great trainer who was really pushing her. Mike is amazing, she'd say, scrolling through her phone. He really understands body mechanics. Mike. I should have paid attention to how often she said that name. Second flag, the phone habits. Jessica used to leave her phone everywhere. Kitchen counter, coffee table, charging in the bedroom while she showered. She'd hand it to me to take pictures, to look something up, to show me a meme. That stopped. Suddenly her phone was always with her, always face down, always on silent. She'd take it to the bathroom when she showered, sleep with it under her pillow. Work stuff, she explained when I mentioned it. My boss wants faster response times. I need to stay connected. I bought it. Why wouldn't I? I trusted her. Third flag, the overtime. My company went through a growth phase last year. Big contracts, tight deadlines. I started working late, sometimes until 8 or 9 p.m., occasionally on weekends. Jessica never complained. In fact, she seemed almost relieved. Take all the time you need, babe. I know how important this project is. I thought she was being supportive. Turns out she just appreciated the empty apartment. Fourth flag, the distance. We stopped talking, really talking. Conversations became logistics. Who was picking up groceries, what time she'd be home, whether we needed to call the landlord about the leaky faucet. When I tried to go deeper, asked about her day, her feelings, her dreams, she'd shut down. I'm tired, Daniel. Can we just watch TV? We watched a lot of TV, side by side on the couch, miles apart in every way that mattered. I told myself it was a phase. Every marriage has phases. We'd get through it. I was an idiot. Tuesday night, 9:47 p.m. Normal evening. She's in the shower. I'm in bed scrolling through work emails, half watching some documentary on my laptop. Her phone buzzes on the nightstand, then again, then 5 more times in a row. I glanced over. Just reflex. Didn't even think about it. The screen was lit up with previews, message after message stacked on top of each other. Can't wait to see you tomorrow, baby. Thinking about last Thursday. Wear that black thing again. From someone named Gym Trainer Mike. My wife doesn't go to the gym. Hasn't in almost a year. She'd told me she quit because the vibe changed and she was focusing on yoga at home instead. bed. There was no yoga at home. I knew that now. My stomach dropped. This cold, hollow feeling that started in my chest and spread outward until even my fingers felt numb. I picked up her phone. Same passcode for 8 years. Our anniversary date, 0914. She'd never changed it. I opened the messages. 6 months. 6 months of conversations. Flirting that escalated quickly. Inside jokes about me. Pet names that made my skin crawl. Photos I'll never be able to unsee. Her in our bedroom, wearing things she'd never worn for me. Posing for a man I'd never met. Hotel receipts forwarded as screenshots. The Marriott on 5th Street. The Hyatt near the airport. A bed and breakfast in wine country that I'd been planning to take her to for our anniversary. They'd already been, in September, while I was working overtime to pay for her car. And then I found the messages about me. He's so boring. Never wants to do anything. That was from October, right after I'd suggested a weekend trip that she'd turned down because she was too tired. I know. Mike understands me. Daniel just exists. Just exists. 8 years of marriage, paying her debts, supporting her dreams, and I just existed. Then the worst one. Just waiting for the right time. Need to get some money saved first. Maybe after Christmas when the bonus hits. She was planning to take my money and disappear. Smart. Get as much as you can. He won't even notice until it's too late. You can crash with me until you find a place. I sat on that bed, shower still running, steam creeping under the bathroom door. 8 years, high school sweethearts. I'd given her everything. This is what I got. I screenshot everything. Every message, every photo, every receipt, every plan they'd made. Sent it all to my personal email, the one she didn't know about. Then deleted the sent folder, cleared my tracks, put her phone back exactly where it was. The shower turned off. I closed my eyes, tried to breathe. She came out in her robe, hair wrapped in a towel, smiled at me like nothing was wrong. Coming to bed soon? I looked at her face. The face I'd loved for 9 years. The face that had lied to me every single day for 6 months. Yeah, just finishing some work stuff. She climbed into bed, kissed my cheek, fell asleep within minutes. I didn't sleep at all, just lay there in the dark staring at the ceiling, planning. Wednesday morning, Jessica left for work at 7:30. Same routine as always. Kiss on the cheek. See you tonight. Out the door. The moment her car disappeared around the corner, I moved. First call, my bank. I need to transfer funds from a joint savings account to my personal checking. The representative walked me through it. No complications. I moved $43,000. Everything in there except $100. The account was in both our names, so the transfer was perfectly legal. Felt poetic, leaving that 100. Generous even. Second call, Marcus Oyalaran, criminal defense attorney, friend of a friend. My buddy Derek had used him during his divorce last year, said he was the best in the city. I need to see you today. My wife is having an affair, and she's planning to drain our accounts and leave. Come in at noon. Bring everything you have. I spent the rest of the morning organizing, printed the screenshots at a FedEx office, didn't want any record on our home printer, gathered every important document I could find. Passport, birth certificate, social security card, the title to my car, tax returns going back 3 years. At 11:45, I drove downtown. Marcus Oyalaran's office was on the 14th floor of a glass tower in the financial district. Clean, professional, expensive looking but not flashy. He was waiting when I arrived. Mid-50s, gray at the temples, the kind of calm presence that made you feel like everything was going to be okay, even when it absolutely wasn't. Tell me everything, he said. I did. The phone, the messages, the photos, the plan to take my money, all of it. He reviewed the screenshots in silence, made notes on a legal pad. His expression never changed. When he finished, he looked up. This is comprehensive. You said she's been planning to leave since at least October? That's when the messages about saving money started. But the affair has been going on since at least June, and she doesn't know you've seen any of this? No. I put her phone back exactly where it was. She has no idea. He nodded slowly. Good. That gives us an advantage. What do I do now? First, we file for divorce immediately. In this state, we have no-fault divorce, but infidelity can still affect asset distribution, especially when there's documented intent to commit financial abandonment. She was going to steal from me. Those messages suggest exactly that. Get as much as you can. He won't even notice. That's evidence of premeditation. He paused. You've already moved the savings? This morning. Everything except $100. Smart. The account was joint, so the transfer is legal, but we need to document your reasoning. Protect yourself if she claims you were the one committing financial misconduct. We spent the next 2 hours preparing. Divorce petition, asset declarations, a timeline of the affair with supporting evidence, emergency motions to freeze any remaining joint assets. By 3 p.m., everything was filed. Marcus walked me to the elevator. Go home. Act normal. Let her think everything's fine. Tomorrow she gets served. At her office? At her office. Maximum impact. He smiled slightly. Sometimes that's exactly what's needed. I drove home at 5, sat in the parking lot for 20 minutes trying to prepare, trying to remember how to pretend I didn't know what I knew. Jessica got back at 6, already in a bad mood, slammed the door, threw her purse on the counter. Why are there dishes in the sink? I asked you to clean up before I got home. I'd forgotten. Genuinely. My mind had been elsewhere all day. Sorry. Got distracted with work stuff. She crossed her arms. That look on her face, the disappointed, condescending one she'd perfected over the years, the one I used to think was cute when she was frustrated. This is exactly what I'm talking about, Daniel. You never listen. You never pay attention. You don't respect respect me. I almost laughed out loud. Respect. From the woman texting hotel room photos to her gym trainer from our bathroom. Sleep on the couch tonight. Maybe some discomfort will teach you to pay attention to what I need. I nodded slowly, felt this strange calm settling over me. Sure, let me grab some things first. She didn't even look suspicious. Just rolled her eyes and went back to her phone, probably texting Mike about what an awful husband I was. I walked to the bedroom, pulled out the duffel bag I'd packed that morning, passport, birth certificate, documents, the screenshots, printed and organized, walked right past her toward the front door. She finally looked up. Where are you going with that bag? Just organizing some stuff. Good night. I closed the door behind me before she could respond. My brother Kwame lived 20 minutes away. He answered the door in sweatpants, clearly surprised to see me. Daniel, it's almost 9. What's going on? I walked past him into the living room, set down my bag. Jessica's been cheating on me for 6 months. I found out Tuesday night, filed for divorce today. She gets served tomorrow. Kwame stared at me. Okay, sit down, I'm getting the whiskey. We sat on his couch until midnight. I showed him everything, the messages, the photos, the plan to drain our accounts. He got angrier with every page. I never liked her, he said finally, but I didn't know it was this bad. Neither did I. What do you need? A place to stay. A week, maybe 2, until I figure out next steps. You've got it. Stay as long as you want. He poured me another drink. And Daniel? Yeah? You're handling this better than I would. I'd be in jail by now. I didn't feel like I was handling it well. I felt numb, hollow, like someone had scooped out everything that made me a person and left behind a shell running on autopilot. But I also felt something else. Relief. The not knowing was over. The pretending was done. For the first time in months, maybe years, I knew exactly where I stood, and I was standing on solid ground while Jessica's world was about to collapse. Thursday morning, my phone exploded at 6:47 a.m. Missed calls, text messages, voicemails, all from Jessica. Where are you? This isn't funny, Daniel. Why aren't you answering? We need to talk. Come home. I didn't respond. Just made coffee at Kwame's place and waited. At 11:23 a.m., she discovered the savings account. What did you do? Where is our money? I let that voicemail play through. Listened to her voice go from angry to panicked to desperate in 60 seconds flat. This is illegal. This is theft. You can't just take our money. Actually, I could. Joint account. My transfer. Perfectly legal. I texted back, talk to my lawyer, then blocked her number. At 3:47 p.m., the process server arrived at her office. I know exactly when it happened because Marcus Oyalaran called me at 3:52. It's done. She's been served. Took it about as well as expected. Meaning she screamed at the process server, threw papers at his head, and had to be escorted to a conference room by security. In front of everyone? In front of everyone. I felt something I didn't expect. Nothing. No satisfaction. No triumph. Just this flat, empty acceptance that this was happening, that my marriage was over, that the life I'd built for almost a decade had been a lie. Jessica tried to reach me through other numbers. Her mom's phone, her sister's phone, her office line. I didn't answer any of them. By 8 p.m., she finally got the message. Her attorney called mine Friday morning. Patricia Okafor, family law specialist, 18 years of practice. I learned later that Jessica had hired her in a panic Thursday night, called every law firm in the phone book until someone agreed to take her case. My client believes this divorce is proceeding under false pretenses, Okafor told Marcus. She claims your client has misrepresented the state of their finances and stolen marital assets. Marcus put her on speaker. I was sitting in his office listening. With respect, counselor, your client was planning to do exactly that. We have 6 months of documented messages in which she discusses draining joint accounts and disappearing. Silence on the other end. We also have evidence of an ongoing extramarital affair, including hotel receipts, explicit photos, and messages referring to Mr. Okonkwo as boring and someone she was just waiting to leave. More silence. I'd recommend your client focus on negotiating a fair settlement rather than contesting these proceedings. The evidence is comprehensive, and a judge will not look kindly on documented infidelity combined with financial abandonment planning. Okafor asked for a day to review the materials. She called back Saturday morning. My client is willing to discuss terms. The divorce was finalized in 4 months. In a fault state, Jessica's infidelity would have affected asset distribution significantly. In our no-fault state, it didn't change much legally, but the judge did take into account her documented plan to drain our accounts. She got the apartment. I didn't want it anyway. She got her car, the one I'd spent 3 years paying off. She got half the furniture. Everything else went to me, including the $43,000 I'd transferred, which was ruled protective asset relocation rather than theft, given the documented evidence that Jessica had been planning to take it herself. The final court date was anticlimactic. Jessica showed up with her attorney. I showed up with mine. We signed papers. The judge stamped them. And just like that, 9 years of marriage became a stack of documents in a filing cabinet. She tried to talk to me in the hallway afterward. Daniel, wait. Please, can we just... I walked past her without a word. Marcus followed. You handled that well. Did I? Better than most people would. I didn't feel like I'd handled anything. I just felt done. I found out about Mike 3 weeks after the divorce was finalized. Kwame showed me the Instagram post. Jessica had finally gone public with her new relationship. A photo of of her and this guy. Tall, muscular, exactly what you'd picture when you hear gym trainer at some rooftop bar. Starting my next chapter with this one, the comments were full of congratulations, heart emojis. You deserve happiness. Nobody knew the truth. To them, she was just a recently divorced woman moving on, not a cheater, not a liar, just someone who'd found love again. I thought about commenting, thought about posting the screenshots, thought about exposing her to everyone who was celebrating her new relationship, but I didn't, because here's the thing I learned during those 4 months. Exposure doesn't heal anything. Revenge doesn't fill the hole. The people who matter already know the truth, and the people who don't matter, don't matter. I closed Instagram and didn't look back. 6 months later, I ran into someone from Jessica's office. Derek Namdi, junior account manager, someone I'd met at a few work parties over the years. Nice guy, not a close friend, but friendly enough. We ended up at the same bar on a random Tuesday. I heard about you and Jessica, he said 3 beers in. Sorry, man, that was rough. Thanks, it's over now. Yeah, but he hesitated. You should know, everyone at the office knows what happened. After she got served, people started talking, pieced things together. What do you mean? The gym trainer, the long lunches, the way she was always on her phone. He shrugged. Nobody said anything to you because, I don't know, none of our business, I guess. But after the divorce, someone found her Instagram, put 2 and 2 together. So everyone knows. Everyone knows. He took a long drink. And for what it's worth, nobody blames you. She played the victim for a while, but people aren't stupid. They figured it out. I sat with that for a minute. All those months of worrying about my reputation, about what people would think, about how I'd be perceived, and it turned out the truth had a way of surfacing on its own. I bought Derek another beer. Thanks for telling me. Of course. And hey, he raised his glass. You're better off. Trust me. I clinked my glass against his. For the first time since that Tuesday night, I actually believed it. It's been 18 months now. I don't think about Jessica much anymore. She's somewhere out there, living her life, probably convincing herself she did nothing wrong. Mike apparently moved on after about 3 months. According to mutual friends, he got bored once she wasn't forbidden anymore. Funny how that works. I moved into a new apartment last spring. 1 bedroom, nice view, all mine. Started dating again recently. Nothing serious yet, but I'm open to it. The therapist I've been seeing, Dr. Amara Oyalaran, 12 years of practice, specialist in relationship trauma, says that's a good sign. You're not closing yourself off, she told me last week. That's important. Some people never recover from this kind of betrayal. They build walls that never come down. I thought about it, building walls, but you didn't. No, I decided she doesn't get that. She took 9 years. She doesn't get the rest of my life too. Dr. Oyalaran smiled. That's exactly right.